Welcome, Knitty friends. It's Woolly Wednesday again. It's September 9th, and I'm happy to be joining you again this week. I apologize that there wasn't a Woolly Wednesday last week. I will talk more about that in my floss tube later this week. I'll do a little bit of a life update. Let's just say that I had a lot of plans and a lot of stuff did not go according to plan. So I had to take a break on filming last week, which was very frustrating, but I hope you enjoyed the little video that I did put up last week. The just breathe, relax, and take a couple of minutes to recenter yourself. I know that I needed it. I'm sure a lot of you needed it as well. So anyway, thank you for joining me again. I'm happy to see you. I hope you're all doing well. I hope that this week is less stressful for you, if your week was stressful for you like mine was last week. So hopefully things are going better. Every day is a new day. So I'm going to try to keep it short today. I'm doing this sort of on my lunch break because I'm trying to get back to filming and I still have a whole lot of stuff on my plate this week. Not as much as last week, I think. It's been a busy, busy weekend, even though it was a holiday weekend. But yeah, so let's get right into it. I only have one whip for you. I'm still working on the Sharon Show MCAL, which is hosted by or actually the parts requiring opposable thumbs are run by Casapinka, but the actual MCAL is hosted by Sharon from Security, who is one of her cats. It is a super fun MCAL. The pattern is really awesome. The sections have different names like, extra space for floofy tails and things like that. I'm having a great time with it, even though I'm a little frustrated that I'm not keeping up as well as I had wanted to. So currently the last clue drop was clue 5 of 6 clues. This week apparently Sharon is going on the road. She has to find her security card. So we're not getting a regular clue 6. We have a week break before we get the actual clue 6. But there are fun things happening in the MCAL. There's still time to join if you're interested. Even though an MCAL, it's sort of like a cross-stitching stitch along where theoretically you do it as things are released. You never have to do it as things are released. You can jump in on the last day and still work on it in the future if you want to. So there's definitely still time to join in if that's something that you want to do. And I will give one last spoiler disclaimer before I pull this up. So I have worked through, I have finished clue 2. As I said, we're currently on clue 5. I finished clue 2, I've started clue 3. So if you don't want any spoilers for any of those clues, then look away now, and I'll tell you when you can look back. So here we go. As you can see, it's getting pretty big. In fact, my box is no longer long enough. And this is mostly just 2 clues. So if you recall, last time we spoke, this is my progress marker. So this is where I was last time we spoke, which was just barely into clue 2. So I finished clue 2, which goes all the way up to this blue section here. So this brown at the top is the first part of clue 3, yes. And this is actually the first repeat of that section. So I have 2 more of these bands left to go before I move on to the next part of the clue. So look how big that is. This is, at this point, this is very honestly the biggest knitting project I have ever worked on in my life, as far as width and stuff. So if you've been following for a while, let's see, yeah, it's over here. You can barely see it. So this purple shawl over here that my finger is kind of wiggling on top of, that's much, much longer than the current shawl. That scarf is much longer than this shawl, but this has so much more work into it because of the different kinds of stitches and things like that. I'll hold it a little bit closer. So this pink section here you have already seen, but it's a really cool pattern. I like that. And then up here, this was really, really fun. This stitch was super fun. I did have to watch a video to understand what was happening here, but I love how this turned out. This section here looks really cool too, but I did mess it up a little bit. I don't know if you can tell. I can tell because I know what I did wrong. And then this section is actually Morse code. It's super cute. And then this is the newest section, and I love this pattern. I love how this is turning out. I don't think you can see very clearly the detail because my light gets so blown out in this room. It's so bright outside. But anyway, yeah, I really like how that's working out. It's going to be the longest shawl ever. And I am working on the MCAL is set up. You can do a small shawl or you can do a medium large shawl, and I'm actually working on the medium large and then adding a few rows here and there as I want to enlarge certain sections. So some of my sections are actually include an additional repeat based on what the more than what the pattern actually calls for. So this is going to be a really long shawl. It might actually be long enough to wrap around myself, which for me is really awesome because I never have anything that's quite big enough, like me sized. So that's really, really awesome. By the way, if you don't want spoilers, you can look back now. So yeah, that's where I am now. I'm going to go ahead and move my little progress counter because otherwise I will forget. So but yeah, this is the only whip I have right now. This is the only thing I've been working on because I've been working really hard to try to get this finished relatively on time, which is not working out as well as I'd like, but I really have to. One of the biggest lessons I have learned in this last week is that I really have to be kinder to myself with the deadlines that I set and the self-imposed goals and deadlines that I set for myself, because I'm often much harder on myself than I am on other people. I think I'm always harder on myself than I am on other people, and I set unrealistic goals, I think. So I'm trying to learn, and I'm trying to do better, and I'm trying to understand that, when it's a self-imposed goal and it's an unrealistic goal to start with, that certainly it is okay if I don't meet that in the time frame that I had wanted to, and I need to learn to let go a little bit. That's always been an issue for me. Learning to let go has been a lifelong struggle. As you might be able to tell from this, I hold on to things, both physically and emotionally. I hold on to things a lot longer than I should. So it's something that I've been working on for a number of years. This last week has taught me that I still need to work on it. So yeah. So I had hoped to get this done before my next MCAL starts, which is theoretically going to be September 14th. But as it's already the 9th of September, we're going to go ahead and say that I'm just going to work on both MCALs at the same time, because there's no way I'm getting through 5 clues, or I should say 3 clues in the next 7 days. It's not possible. What is possible is starting the next MCAL on time, because I was able to order my kit for the, I'll try to put a picture up here, for the mixtape MCAL that is being hosted by Paisley Pearl Yarn. If you remember, Paisley Pearl Yarn is run by a wonderful woman named Rachel Keener. I don't remember if I mentioned her name on the channel before, but wonderful, wonderful lady named Rachel Keener is the dyer, and also I believe she's the designer of this pattern, and she's running this MCAL starting the 14th of September. So there's still time to get in and get your order. Certainly you can order from her anytime and start the MCAL anytime. It's going to be a 5-week MCAL. You may be able to also just do the pattern. I haven't contacted her directly to ask her, but I have a feeling that she'd be happy to have people participate by just purchasing the pattern and knitting along. She's super friendly, super nice, and she always goes above and beyond, so it's really awesome. So I did purchase my kit from her, and that came. So this is both plans and haul at this point. So you may recall I mentioned I was going to probably go with the pink set that she was calling, okay, the name escapes me. I can't remember what the pink set was called. Oh, it was called Love is a Battlefield. Okay, that's why I'm getting confused. So I was going to go with Love is a Battlefield, but ultimately I decided I actually really liked the colors in Sweet Dreams better. They were more my style. So, excuse me. So I went with Sweet Dreams instead of goodness, excuse me, instead of, well, this battlefield, I apologize, my brain is just out of it. I'm still, part of the things that kept me from getting stuff done last week are still affecting me. I have some kind of sinus issue going on, and I have some dental issues as well, and so between the two, it's just like brain fog and pain, and yeah, it's not fun. So anyway, I apologize. So let's look at these yarns because they're awesome. Oh, and I should also mention, not only did she send the yarn, but she sent this beautiful little card. Beautiful. I love this design. It's actually right side up. And this is just to say, you know, thank you, and she's so excited to have me join the MCAL, which is really nice. But in addition to that, she always includes a couple of extras. So she's got her business card. And so she has the bulldog as her logo because she has fur babies who are bulldogs. So that's bulldog for her thing. Or boxers maybe, I can't remember, one or the other. I get confused with those breeds. So she sent that, and then also this really awesome little pin. She always sends just a little something extra, no matter what you order. If you order a kit or yarn or whatever, she always sends just a little something extra. So she sent this pin, and she also includes these really awesome little, I should have undone this before I got on the video. She does these awesome little stitch markers. And she sends them with pretty much any yarn order that I've ever gotten. So she puts a tag on the yarn, and on the back it tells you what the colorway was, and the type of yarn, and all that sort of stuff. And then she also includes these cute little, matches my shirt, these cute little stitch markers, which of course is not, it's too shiny. Come on now. Okay, well, it's not going to focus. You can tell it's a stitch marker. I'm shaking it too much too, so. Okay, that's as close as it's going to be. But it does match my shirt. So yeah, it's a little paw print. It's got a bead on it, and it's just a little closed ring stitch marker. And I have now 3 or 4 of these because that's how many times I've gotten yarn from her. And I get one of these every single time. And they're just super cute. It's just, these kinds of little details, I think, are just, it's one of the best things about purchasing from an independent seller, because you know that you're supporting a human being and not some, you know, box store robot, which is really, really nice. So, let's see. So the main color for this set is a gray. It's a gorgeous gray. And you can see that this is, it goes from basically very light to a medium gray. It does have little speckles of sort of brownish yellow in there, just the tiniest little bit. So that'll be the main color of the shawl, or the cowl. This is for a cowl. And then we've got several different minis. This one is really, and all these yarns are so soft, y'all. It's so soft. That's going to be like the most fantabulous cowl. So I don't know that these have individual names, but these are the minis. And this is a really pretty, I think of it sort of as like a garden color. It's got that blue in there, which is actually coming out really well on camera. It's got some green and some pink. I love these speckly kind of yarns. So that's a really nice accent color. And then we've got this almost denim kind of color. It's coming off a little almost gray on camera. But it's a really nice blue denim sort of color, very 80s. And then this green that goes really nicely with that speckle. And it's all so soft. I can't even tell you, it's so soft. And then we've got these 2 sort of purple burgundy colors. They're coming off more red on camera. They actually have a little bit more purple in them. But those are really nice. So all together, let's see if I can do this. Brain fog and all. So we've got those 5 minis. They go really, really nicely together. I like them so much. It's so funny. I always tell her that the pictures don't do it justice because when I get my yarns from her, the yarns in person are so much. Like I like the colors online, but the colors when I get them in person aren't even better than the pictures. So, so yeah, this is not going to work at all. Okay, so you kind of get. I'm a mess today. I apologize. But yeah, so you kind of get the gist here. So it's going to be this gray base with these other sort of muted tones. And honestly, I think I think the only colorway I wouldn't have chosen was 1-2 Freddy's Coming For You, and that's mostly just because I never liked Freddy Krueger. The colors were absolutely fine. I just didn't like the theme, and I'm silly like that. But yeah, I would have done Oh My God if I would have thought that I would have ever worn anything neon colored. I may still. She sells a kit that's a bunch of neon minis, and I want to think it's like leopards and leotards or something is what the set's called. And at some point I'll probably buy that and make socks or something fun out of it, just because I like the neon colors. I just don't know that I'll ever wear them. So yeah, so we got that's the mixtape MCal. So she picked some really great names for these kits. So Love is a Battlefield, Pat Benatar, one of my favorites from the 80s. Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics, another one of my favorites from the 80s. Yeah, so can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. So again, still plenty of time to join in this MCal. I know that Rachel Ray, we all know her and love her. She is also joining me on this MCal. I know she's already placed her order too, so hopefully she'll get her yarn very soon. And we can both start together. That's going to be super awesome. So yeah, I'm excited. So that's the biggest plan going forward, is that MCal. I don't think I'm going to bother trying to edit the picture in here right now because I haven't gotten all the yarn yet. But I found the perfect pattern for my Rebel Woolworks, Rebel Woolworks mini skein set, that rainbow mini skein set that we talked about a while ago, that I was so in love with that I waited months to get it. I found the perfect pattern for it. I had to order some additional yarn to go with it, simply because the pattern I found calls for like 400 grams or 400 meters, 400 somethings. It's probably 400 meters, 400 yards. It calls for 400 yards of a main color, and then, oh, there's a cat. And then it calls for 9 coordinating colors, mini skeins of coordinating colors, like 40 yards each. So the mini skein set comes with, I think, 7 colors, one of which is gray. So what I decided to do was purchase a larger skein of the same gray. So I'll have plenty of gray. That'll be the main color. And then I purchased a large skein of another color that's going to function as 2 or 3 of the coordinating colors. So I'll have the 6 rainbow colors plus this extra color with the gray being the main color. And it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to show you. I think that package is actually going to be here later today, but I didn't want to wait any longer on filming. So you'll see that hopefully next week. Because I'm getting that. I'm also getting some yarn from Ruby and Roses, a fantastic Halloween colorway. The only Halloween colorway she's gonna do because she doesn't care for Halloween all that much. But yeah, I'm super excited to show you that too. So hopefully that'll be here this week and I can show you next week. But yeah, I'll tell you more about the pattern that I'm going to use for the Rebel Woolworks yarn once those other yarns come. And those are all going to be from Rebel Woolworks, because I really wanted to make sure that they were all going to be consistent, that they were going to have the same look and feel and that kind of stuff. So I just bought more yarn. But yeah, I bought that right at the beginning of September, so we're still okay with the no spend September. Sorta, kinda, yeah. Anyway, so that's the rest of my plans going forward for the foreseeable future. I still have my other whips going, obviously. I do need to get back on my my Empower People 2020 bandana because it's getting really close to voting time, so I really need to get that. I need to get that finished so I can start wearing it when I go out and about. Of course, it's still pretty warm so it's hard to wear it too much, but at least maybe I can wear it for videos and stuff like that to help remind us all to make sure that we're doing good in our communities, and that we're working for change even in small ways every single day. So anyway, okay, so the last bit I have to talk about is a couple of more things that I ordered. I don't have a lot, and I probably won't have a ton of stuff because I am trying to do no spend September and possibly also only the essentials October or something like that, because I've done a whole lot of COVID spending, like a lot of COVID spending. Any of you who've watched any of my videos over the last couple of months, you've seen how much I've been spending. So it's time to start scaling back and using the things that I have purchased instead of continuing to buy more, which is so hard because people are coming out with new awesome stuff all the time. All the time. In fact, I very nearly impulse bought a couple of skeins of yarn from a new dyer that I just discovered in Georgia on Etsy, because the colorways were on fire, like almost literally on fire. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So I'm gonna have to save up some money and buy from that dyer because those colorways were unbelievable. Anyway, let's talk about what I actually have purchased. So speaking of Ruby and Roses, I jumped on this. This was definitely an impulse buy. So she started doing new mini sets, and I have an additional mini set that I'm really excited to show you that will be in the same package with her Halloween colorway. But in between, she had some of these new sets ready to ship, so I already have this. This is called the Seaside Mini Set, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's 10 gram skeins, so it's 100 grams altogether. And how gorgeous is that? Look how pretty. I'm not going to take them out of the bag just because they're so neat and tidy in there. I don't want to take them out. But you can see, I think you can see the colors well enough. So we've got all this kind of seafoam colors fading into these bluer colors up into the purples at the top. So nice. Really, really gorgeous. And this is on her, I forget what base this is. It doesn't actually say on this label, but it's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. So that's going to be a nice, comfy, stretchy base to work with. It looks very similar to the yarn that I've been working on with my mini skein infinity shawl, or infinity scarf. Yes. So it looks very similar to that. So I think that's going to be really nice to work with. So I'm super excited about that. I don't know what I'll turn this, what this will ultimately become, but I really loved it. And it seemed like it was going to be a limited edition, so I snagged one. Also, I can't remember if I mentioned before, but I recently joined a yarn club, mini skein club, from a seller in the UK. Vicky Brown Designs is the seller. And I signed up for the mini skeins. So these are like 10 gram skeins. And the box that I get, I want to say it costs £11.40 or something. So even with shipping and the exchange rate, it still comes out to about less than 20 bucks a month, I think. And I get 5 ombre skeins. And let me just show you what I got. So, and I'll show you these in order. So these are not actually, the colors are not named. It's just ombre 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. Oh, actually it's, yeah, it is 5. Okay. But the yarn is super, super soft. It's a really high twist. It's a 4-ply sock yarn, 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. So each of these are 10 grams. And the color's going to blow out, so it's going to be hard to see. But this is a kind of a light lavender leaning into pink. It looks very pink on camera, but it's actually closer to a lavender color. So that's ombre number 1. And this is ombre number 2. And this is more pink, but still slightly lavender. But it is definitely more pink than the first one. So we start at that sort of pinky lavender, and then we're fading into more pink. So that's number 2. Number 3 is pink. Pink, pink. It's not nearly as bright as the filming is suggesting. So this is a much more in my opinion, a much more accessible pink. It looks like hot pink on camera, but it's not quite hot pink. It's a little bit less vibrant than that. And ombre number 4. This actually has some red speckles in it, or orangey kind of speckles in it, so that's interesting. But it's sort of a pink and white variegated with some orangey speckles. That's number 4. And then number 5, here we go. This is just sort of a light baby pink. It has a little bit more variation than you can see on camera. The pinks really don't come out very well. But these are nice little skeins. So it's a mini skein set for, like I said, 20 bucks American, which is not too bad. I have decided that I'm probably going to skip October's box, or was it September's? I think it's September's box, because these ship at the end of the month, so this would be August that I just received, I think. I can't remember. They're coming from the UK, so it's hard for me to remember the time frame. But yeah, so if you like minis and you just kind of want to gather a collection of minis, especially if you're in the UK, check out Vicki Brown Designs. There is, you can get a mini skein club that actually gives you 20 gram skeins, which is a little bit more to work with. If you feel like 10 grams is not going to be enough of a color. But these are super cute. So together, this is about 50 grams. So this would probably be, let's see, 4 times 5, about 200 meters. So this would be enough for a small project if you use them together. And if you combine a couple of boxes, you'd have enough for pretty much any project you wanted. So I may turn back on my next box. I haven't decided. At first, I decided I was going to skip because I wasn't thrilled at getting a bunch of pink, because I'm not a huge pink person. And so I was thinking I would save the money, but now I'm kind of rethinking, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things go over the next week or two. I think I still have some time to turn that back on. At the very least, I have not completely canceled my subscription. I just paused it, so I will decide what I'm going to do. So, if you live in the UK, I think that's a fantastic value. If you live in the US, it's still a decent value. The shipping is pretty cheap considering how far it's coming, but it does come in this, this is evidently the cheap way to ship small items in the UK, as you'll see later in my floss tube this week, because I've received another item that I'll be showing, and it came in exactly the same size box, so. Okay, well, that's all I have, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So we've talked about what I'm working on and what I'm planning on working on, and we've talked about what I've purchased. I have really awesome stuff coming in the next month or two. I think the Haunted Lodge is shipping middle of this month, so that's coming very soon. And that's an Advent, so I might do like quick updates. I don't know. I'll figure out how I'm going to open those for you, because that's like, I think it's 13 mini skeins or something like that. So I don't want to open them all at one time. I want to open those one at a time, but certainly I don't want to take 13 weeks to open those. So we'll see how I decide to do that. Regardless, that's very exciting. I'm also considering, if I can save up enough money, I might purchase the white elephant box from Forbidden Fiber Co. We'll see. Anyway, so that's everything for this week. So I hope you're having a good week. I hope that, like I said, if you were stressed like I was last week, I hope this week is far easier for you. I hope you find some time to rest and relax and just breathe. And I hope to see you all next week. Thank you so much. If you've liked what you've seen, click that like button at the bottom. And if you want to see more of this, definitely hit that subscribe button. And you can hit the little bell to be notified anytime I post anything. I mostly post knitting. Knitting and cross stitch is my bigger thing, but I really love knitting as well. So those are my main things, and occasionally I post other random stuff too. You just never know. So thank you all for joining me, and I will see you next week. Have a great one.